Hello and welcome to another video, and in today's video we will be talking about 10 rules from Stoicism that you should definitely apply in your life. But before we get started, let's talk about what is Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy that was created by Zeno, and it is one of the most and effective ways to improve your mental health and see the world in a better perspective. What I believe is that Stoicism and philosophy must be taught in schools, which it doesn't, so that's why I'm making this kind of videos for you. So without any further ado, let's get started with rule number 1. Focus on what you can control. In life, there will be many things that will be out of your control and you can't do anything about them. But what you can control is your reaction to those events. For example, you went to a party with one of your favorite designer clothes and there someone spills his wine on you. Now you didn't do this, there was no fault of yours. But it happened with you and you can't control the events. But here what you can control is your reaction to this event. Either you can scold that person or just forgive him or just go and wash your clothes. That decision is yours. You never control the outcomes, you only control your reactions. A simple exercise that I like to do is I will create a list of things I can't control and a list of things I can't control. And if I am stressed about or worried about something that I can't control, I will remind myself that these are the things I can't control. So it's futile to worry about them and thus I can calm myself down at that time. Rule number 2. Remember, you are going to die. It might sound counterintuitive, but death is a powerful motivator. You might have seen movies or books where the character is about to die, so he or she decides to do everything that he has been dreaming of doing. Like they create a bucket list and go and do the things they have always dreamed about. Because they realize that we will die eventually and in the end, it doesn't even matter. So approach the girl you have been crushing on and go start the YouTube channel you have been procrastinating on and do all sort of things that you have been wanting to do. Because in the end, you will not regret doing something. You will only regret not doing something. And remind yourself every day that you are going to die. And if you are not doing the things that you want to do, then you will regret not doing it right now. Rule number 3. Don't suffer in your imagination. It is one of the most famous quotes by Seneca that goes like, we suffer more in our imagination than we do in our reality. So what he explains is basically we create scenarios about the past that happened with us or about the future that will happen with us. So stop creating what if scenarios in your head and hurting yourself over and over again. Your past has already happened with you and you can't do anything about it. You can't change it. And your future is always uncertain. Accept this truth and remind yourself this rule whenever you catch yourself creating what if scenarios in your head. Rule number 4. Try to see the good things in people. We often think in terms of black and white, like this person is good and that person is bad. But no, people are not all black and white. I mean not in color wise, I mean in their nature. People are not always good or bad. There will be some people that will have some kind of bad nature that you don't like. And there will be some bad people that will have some good nature that you will like. So stop criticizing people for their bad qualities and start appreciating them for their good ones. Because everyone has some good in them if you want to see them. Rule number 5. Be strict with yourself and tolerant with others. The only person you need to be strict with is you. Practice self-discipline because self-discipline is the pillar on which every success of your life depends on. Your financial success, your romantic success, your physical success, your mental success, everything depends on self-discipline. There is a powerful lesson from Bhagavad Gita that goes along like, your sensations, your feelings and your emotions are like horses carrying a chariot. And if you decide to leave them and don't control them, the horses will run away here and there and they will take you places you don't want to go. So what people do is they put a leash on the horses and try to control them. And that is called as self-control. And if you can control your emotions, your feelings and your desires, then the chariot will go in the right path and you will mostly reach your destination. So start being strict with yourself and start practicing self-discipline and become tolerant with people. Like don't force them to do something they don't want to do. If someone doesn't want to work out, then why would you force them? If someone doesn't want to take care of the skin, why would you force them? So start being strict with yourself only and be tolerant with everyone. Start appreciating everyone. Rule number 6. Focus on the process and not on the outcome. We can't control the outcome of an event. The outcome of any kind of event is always uncertain and unpredictable. But what we can't control is the process. the process through which you go through. And once you control the process, the outcome will automatically take care of itself. For example, if you go to the gym, then you know that you need to work hard, you need to exercise hard, and you need to eat in a calorie deficit to get the body physique that you want. And if you keep doing that for a long period of time, you know that you will eventually reach the place where you want to reach. So that's why always focus on the process. Always try bettering the process. Because in the end, outcome will eventually come someday. Rule number 7. You can't see your life while you are living it. Marcus Aurelius never wrote Meditations to be a bestseller. He wrote it for himself. He did it for himself only. He didn't know how the future is going to see him. He didn't know the future is going to see him as one of the greatest philosophers ever lived. And he didn't care about that stuff. He wrote because he wanted to. He wrote his own thoughts because he had the genuine curiosity to do it. So focus on your genuine curiosity and you will never get wrong. And stop being afraid of other people's opinions on yourself. Because if someone told Marcus Aurelius, why are you writing a journal of your thoughts? Who is going to read it? He would be like, I didn't want someone to read it. I wrote it for myself. I wrote it for the lessons that I have learned. I didn't write it for anyone. But see today, he is remembered as one of the greatest philosophers. So don't do anything that is outside of your genuine curiosity. Do things for yourself and do things because you want to do it, not because someone else tells you to do it. Rule number 8, stick with your decisions. Marcus Aurelius says that one of the most important things that he admires about his adoptive father was his unwavering resilience towards his decisions. Because taking a decision is easy, but following through it every day is the hard thing. For example, you make a decision that you are going to exercise and get a six-pack abs, but following through it and going to the gym and doing the hard work every day is not easy. So in this case, you have to make two kinds of decisions. The first one is easy, and the second one, the day-to-day one, is the difficult. And that is the thing that you need to do. You need to stick with that decision every day. So stick with your decisions because they will determine the trajectory of your life. Rule number 9. Be grateful for your failures. One of the most common reflections among successful people is that they are grateful about their failures. You will often see Gary Vee telling that he is grateful that he wasn't a good student during his high school years. And that's what motivated him to become an entrepreneur and learn business from his father. And you might be feeling like, what is the benefit of failing? I mean, someone tells me to be grateful about my failures. Why? I mean, failing is a bad thing, right? But no, once you get out of that failure state, once you get out of that zone that you have failed and improved in your life, then you can go and look back at your failure and see that you are grateful for it. Because if you haven't failed at something, you wouldn't be successful at some other thing right now. For example, your previous relationship failed. And if it hadn't failed, you wouldn't have a great girlfriend right now. So always be grateful about your failures because they always teach you lessons. And there is no lesson better learned than by failure. Because you can ignore the lessons taught by other people by saying that he is just blabbering and talking stuff. But you can never ignore the lessons that you learned by failing. That you have learned by doing things and you have failed at it. Rule number 10. Stop waiting. Most of the times we wait for the right time, the right equipments, the right products to launch a business, to start something new, to start doing the things that we always wanted to do. But what it takes is just taking action. A bias towards action is the best gift you can give yourself. Because in the end, you will only regret not taking the action. And believe me, no one regrets taking some kind of action. No one regrets that, why did I start my YouTube channel? So always have a bias towards action. Even if you don't have the knowledge, go and do the things. Start taking action. Be action oriented. So if you like today's video, subscribe to us if you haven't yet. It's completely free to subscribe us. So see you in the next video, and until then, have a great time and keep reading.